So on today's Card Academy lesson, I'm going to show you guys something known as the curious count. Now this is something that allows you to get a card that's in the 7th position of the deck to pretty much any number the spectator names that's above the number 5. So you tell the spectator to think of any number between 1 and 10 or to name it out loud, and you're going to be able to get that 7th card to the position that they name. Now I know what you're saying. What if they name a number below 5? Well, in that case, you have this wonderful bit employed by Roberto Giobbi. That's the idea of, okay, that's great. Now I want you to name another smaller number so we could add to that one. So if the spectator happens to name a 4, you go, okay, perfect. Now name another smaller number. At this point, the spectator is going to name whatever smaller number they want, and that's going to get you to a position above 5. Or you do that until they name a number that's above 5 by just adding it up. So if they name a 4 and then a 2, just say, okay, perfect, we'll add those up, and now it's a 6. And then you're into this particular method. So it's a very, very simple method, and it's a very effective way of revealing the 7th card from the top of the deck. So let's say that the 7th card happens to be, in this case, the 7 of diamonds, very appropriately. I'm going to turn that a card face up, because this is a wonderful little bit. If you guys ever do the trick that cannot be explained, which I'm going to have a whole pretty much lesson dedicated to that idea and different things you could do with that. But this is one thing that you could do, assuming that the card is 7th from the top of the deck and you want to get to that card very, very simply. So this works with any number above 5. So for this, very simply, you're going to have a card of importance, 7th from the top of the deck, and now you are ready to go. So if the spectator names any number underneath 5, you say, oh, I want you to name any number from 1 to 10. If they name any number less than 5, you go perfect, name another one, and then you add those two up, and that takes you above 5. If they name a 6, all you need to do, very simply, to deal down is we're going to deal through that card. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you reveal the next card, which in this case is going to be the 7. If they name 7, guess what? That card is 7th from the top of the deck. So all you need to do is just count down to the 7th card, and you have it. Here's where it starts to get a little bit fun. If they name 8, what are you going to do in this case? What are you going to do, Magic Boy? Well, in this case, you're going to count in pairs. So we're going to count to 8 in pairs of 2. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. And notice what counting in pairs does is that brings the 7 right to the top of the packet. So a little bit of a wonderful idea there, and allows you to do 8 very, very easily without any sort of question. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's get that card right back to where it was. All you're going to do is count in pairs. So if it's 8, you're going to count a pair of 2. You're going to slide off another pair of 2. You're going to slide off another 2. And then lastly, the last 2 to get to 8, which is going to leave the 7 on top. So what happens if they say 9? Well, in this case, we're going to count in groups of 3. So if they name 9, we're going to count a group of 3, a group of 3, and guess what? Another group of 3. And as you could see, that brings that 7 right to the top of the packet, where you could reveal it and show, oh, here's a 7, or if you want to use that as a force card, whatever it is you want to do with this particular handling. If they name 10, that's where it gets a little bit fun, because you're going to count off in a group of 6 and then a group of 4. So we're just counting. We're not drawing too much attention to it, but it is going to be something that's going to require a little bit of time misdirection, much like the crosscut force. So we're going to get this card, let's get it 7th from the top of the deck. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the card's 7th from the top of the deck. You're going to count a group of 6. So in this case, we're going to do 3. We're going to do 3, a group of 4. Drop that on top. And now we have the card on top of the deck, supposedly in the 10th position. So one more time, with the card face up, just for the sake of explanation here. The 7th is 7th from the top of the deck. That's a group of 3. That's a group of 3. So that's 6. And then finally 4. And that's going to make it on top of the deck if they happen to name 10. So as you can see, if they name any number above 5, you're pretty much set to go. All you're doing is essentially just if they name, again, 5 or underneath, you're asking them to think of another number and name another number and adding it to that. If they name a 6, you count 6 and show the 7th card. If they name 7, you count down to 7, because obviously it's the 7th card. If they count down 8, you do it in groups of 2. If they say 9, you do it in groups of 3. And if they name 10, you do 2 groups of 3 and then 1 group of 4, and that card's on top, and you're pretty much set. So that is the curious count count, force, revelation, whatever you guys want to use it for. It's definitely a nice little method to have in your back of your head because it's an auxiliary technique. So it's a technique that could be used in case of an emergency, in case if you want to get that card 7th from the top and you want to reveal it. If by some happenstance that card happens to be a card that you want to force and it's the 7th card from the top of the deck, and you do this particular force, very, very easy, and has you covered for any number above 5 or even any number in general from 1 through 10. All you need to do is just add it up and you are good to go. A lovely subtlety by Roberto Giobbi here as well is the idea of it's a joke, but he even mentions it in the book that it's funny how often it flies by the spectator's head. But you have the spectator name a single digit number between 1 and 52. It's a funny gag, but I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of people would just have that gloss over their head if they really don't put a second thought to it. So that's just a little joke that he opens up with. Name any single digit number between 1 and 52. Great little bit there. But that's the Curious Count Force. I hope you guys enjoyed this particular lesson in the Card Academy, and I hope to see you in the next one.